Hello, my wonderful viewers! I know I promised you that video on how Baby Yoda's actual age is, mentally and physically, but I'm afraid I'm going to have to flake out on that one till tomorrow. I just had an epiphany. So, we all remember the force choke scene from Baby Yoda in the last episode. And I have just realized it was genius. Genius, I say! Yes, I am talking about the Mandalorian Episode 7, The Reckoning again. This show, it just works on so many different levels. I have said before that every line, every item means something, but in reality, every line means many things. This isn't a show with the walls covered in Chekhov's guns. This show has the floor littered with Chekhov's Swiss Army knives. I think we all remember that scene very well, where the adorable Baby Yoda force-choked Cara Dune. A lot of people commented on this. Was it the dark side? Was it innocent? Was he playing? Did he fear for his dad's safety? Well, I was listening to another review of the episode when something hit me like a ton of bricks. There was that wonderful montage of IG-11 learning to be a droid. It already served so many purposes. It was adorable, visually stunning, an homage to the stop-motion animation, and the majority of the reviews did draw the connection between the lesson there about droids learning from their environment and Baby Yoda learning from his environment, namely the Mandalorian, to be violent. But all of those comparisons focused on how Baby Yoda was learning to do violence from Dad Mando. Now, my main question was, why did Baby Yoda react the way he did? Canonically, the first and often only force ability developed in force-sensitive species is threat detection. So Baby Yoda should have known that there was no threat in this situation. It was a game. It was play. There is the possibility that Cara is hiding some treason or something that does actually make her a threat to Mando. But if you go back in the episode a bit, there is another explanation. Baby Yoda, in force-choking Cara Dune, was only using the rules of fair fighting that he had learned from her. Back in the bar fight scene, I noted that Cara and the Zarbek were clearly having fun with the fight. They were playing. They were both really, really enjoying themselves, both Cara and the Zarbek. And how did they signal that playtime was over? Cara Dune, when she was done, she choked out the Zarbek with the power line, and he tapped out. So Cara Dune displayed that the best way to end a friendly fight is to choke out the other person. And at the end of the day, they were all happy. The Zarbek came over, semi-grudgingly laid his shiny coins down on the table, and Cara smiled and waved him away. Now, anyone who has raised a toddler knows that they don't like to watch Mommy and Daddy fight. They don't like to watch Daddy and Auntie fight either, and they will try to stop you. This is a fundamental element of raising children. I have seen so many parents very deliberately begin a playful physical altercation with the baby watching, and when the toddler freaks out, they gently sit down and explain in very simple terms that this is a play fight, that it's okay. And the kid is still stressed, and they very gently teach the child through repetition that play fighting is okay. Mommy and Daddy can scuffle on the floor. But I think every family has experienced this. Older siblings, Dad's friends come over to wrestle, and the toddler freaks out because the toddler can't really tell the difference between play fighting and real fighting. And even once they can, even once the toddler has moved on and advanced to that point where they can tell that it's just a play fight, it still stresses them out. And I have personally seen many toddlers come up once they're semi-verbal and ask you to stop play fighting. And you say, well, you know this is just play fighting. And the toddler at this point can express, yes, they know it's play fighting. They still want you to stop because it's disturbing them. And this is what Baby Yoda does here. Even though he knew it was a play fight, he wanted it to stop. And this is a very, very common in toddlers who have been traumatized by witnessing violence. If the toddler has ever seen someone get really, really hurt from a fight, a real fight, it will take them much, much longer to go through this process and to be okay with people play fighting. And Baby Yoda has been very, very traumatized. Every other time in his life, when Daddy Mando was fighting, people got hurt. The other people died. So it's perfectly natural Baby Yoda wanted this to stop. And we know that Force sensitives can feel death. It was one of the very first Force powers we learned about in Universe, in A New Hope. I just felt as if a million voices cried out in agony at once and then were silent. That messed up one of the oldest, most skilled Force users in the world. And Baby Yoda is still young and fairly young and innocent. He wasn't even as old as Obi-Wan Kenobi was at that time, even with his impressive 50-year toddlerhood. Baby Yoda has felt every death that the Mando has caused. Baby Yoda likes Cara Dune. She's anti-Cara. And Mando was fighting Cara Dune. Even if Baby Yoda knew that this wasn't going to end in Cara Dune's death, he wanted it to stop. He didn't want to feel Cara Dune die. And how had Cara herself shown him how to end a play fight when you want it to stop now? You choke out the other person. So he reached out and choked out Cara to the best of his toddler ability. Make it stop. A side note here. In real life, nobody's toddler actually has Force abilities, but anyone who has ever spent some time with a toddler, especially at night, has in fact been choked out by them. Those adorable chubby little arms and legs are much, much stronger than they look, and a hug can turn into a choke very easily. Back to the main point. This explains Baby Yoda's fear. The poor little one is traumatized and does not want Daddy to hurt Auntie Cara while they were fighting. Why he went for a chokehold? Auntie showed him that was how you stopped it. And that also explains why Baby Yoda was so confused when Daddy Mando told him, "No, stop, she's a friend." Baby Yoda was like, "Of course she's a friend. That's why I choked her till she tapped out." I think this puts the Force choke in a much lighter light, as it were. Baby Yoda was just misusing a legitimate friendly technique rather than falling to the dark side. And he was very upset and confused that Cara Dune was so upset with him because, dude, you showed me how to do this. It's like when the kid learns to use the profanity from the uncle and is really, really surprised when the uncle gets mad at them for saying that word. So, Cara, be careful what you teach your little nephew. Before you know it, he's going to be popping profanities and inspecting weapons all over the place. So what do you think, my wonderful viewers? Am I way off base? Do you have any toddler stories of your own? Have you ever been choked out by those chubby little legs in the middle of the night? Leave a like and a comment below, and I promise I'll get that Baby Yoda age video out soon. Peace out, and just another friendly reminder, I would really love to hear any stories about getting choked out by a toddler that you have.